So you're thinking about moving to Boston, Massachusetts, and you're the type of person that needs a checklist, and you're wondering, what it's like to go through the process of moving here. I mean, I'm a planner, and when I first moved here, I didn't have anyone telling me what I needed to know. So in this video, I'm going to be discussing the 6 steps that I'd be taking when moving to Boston, especially if I were to do it over again with what I know now. So if that's the information that you're after, watch this video, because here we go. So if you're relocating to Boston, what's up, everybody? This is Joe with the Turco Group right here in Boston, Massachusetts. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about working, eating, sleeping, playing, and just living here in Boston, make sure you tap that subscription button and click the little bell so that you're notified every time that we do a new video. Honestly, I get so many phone calls, texts, emails, just from people reaching out every single day who are relocating here, and I absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about moving anywhere in the area, relocating or coming here to stay, make sure you give us a call, shoot us a text, send an email, or even send Paul Revere. Days, nights, weekends, however you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back when moving to Boston, Massachusetts. So I really want to kick this video off and give you guys information about the 6 steps to moving to Boston. It's really easy, honestly, if you know what you're doing, and that's the big problem, is most people don't realize that it's a process. Moving can be overwhelming. You have so many different things going on. I know that, when I moved from my corporate job to Boston from overseas, I had so many different things going on in my head, and I didn't want to forget anything. It was too expensive to make a mistake or to forget something or to leave something undone. It was one of those moves where once I went, I was done. I couldn't, take it back, and a mistake would be costly. So I get it. I've been in that situation. And the one thing that I think, if I had to do it over again, that I would suggest doing, the first of these 6 steps, is creating a moving binder or Google Drive. I tend to lean towards the Google Drive only because I'm really a tech guy and I like to have access to it anywhere. But here's the big thing, being organized with your documents, with the different things that you're going to need to have easy access to, whether it be things like your birth certificate or a credit report or your social security cards, or, your employee references from your employer, or rental references from past tenants, or, if you have just different types of documentation that you need. If you're coming from overseas, things like your visa, your green card, or if you're a student, all of the different, contacts that you're going to need in order to make this move. So that's the first thing. Before I even start looking at where I want to live, the type of house I want to buy, or the type of condo I want to rent, or any of those things, which, I love helping people find, I tell everyone, you got to get organized. You got to get into this process knowing exactly where all your stuff is, because once you start packing, it is a nightmare to find that one piece of paper that you were looking through box after box after box, especially if you're coming from far away. So don't make that mistake. Don't be that person, because we want to make this an awesome experience for you, and making sure that when you're coming to Boston, that you're just having an amazing time and you're not stressing. So get that binder, get that Google Drive started, and any type of reference material that you're going to need, especially things that you're going to need on a regular basis, first priority. All right. Second, start your research. Start watching videos like this and, our channel here to do the things that you can't do if you're not here already. Start looking at what type of neighborhoods, what type of housing that you want, where the commute is going to take you. Start looking at the different things that you're going to need to know in order to move here to Boston. If you're really just kind of getting into it and it's kind of like, oh my God, Joe, I need to know like everything. It's okay. Take a breath. We got you. It's not going to be as crazy difficult as you think it is, but you have to start doing that research ahead of time. Don't leave it for the last minute. You know, things like, oh, am I going to live in the city or outside the city? Do I like that suburban feel? Do school districts matter? Am I a condo person? Am I a house person? Am I a person that wants like a mix and wants like a townhouse or a brownstone? You know, do I have a car? Am I going to keep it in the city? Am I going to keep it outside? There's so many things. What type of town? You know, there's 30-ish greater Boston towns within a short commute, as well as just within Boston, there's over 23 unique communities. So you need to kind of know what you really like and where you're going. And that really kind of pops into the third thing, and that's to identify where you want to live and, you know, who you want to work with, whether it's renting or buying, because it matters. Being local matters, and having that local knowledge is so important. I mean, I have so many clients that started with somebody else and found out that they were either part-time, or it wasn't really a priority, or it wasn't really an area that they knew because they worked, you know, outside of Boston or like an hour or two away. And they said, oh yeah, I could help this person. And then horror stories. So one of the biggest things, and why I put it on this list at number 3, because it's a top 3 thing, is identify where you want to live and who you want to work with, because that local person makes so much of a difference in your search. And being able to do not only what's on the market, but all those pocket listings, all of those off-market opportunities. And in a hot market like this, when you're trying to find a home to purchase from far away, you need someone that's got your back, that's got you covered, and that's just there for you. It's huge. So I want to really, really emphasize that one because it is so important. Now, here is the 4th step. And this is, you know, again, before anything has even started in terms of like doing visits or anything like that, I want you to start canceling memberships, things like gym memberships that you probably haven't gone to since January, things like different little social clubs, or, you know, certain utilities that you don't need, or, you know, anything that's kind of like a bill that you potentially are going to have a hard time once you relocate here to Boston in canceling, because you're not going to be able to just pop over and, you know, talk to someone there. So start canceling all those different things that you don't really need right now, this second, because what you'll find is, one, it's going to save you a little bit of money in getting here because we are expensive. And 2, what's going to happen is you're going to start just crossing things off your list. You're not going to have all of these different things to do all at once because you've step by step kind of taken care of the different ones that you needed. So if you don't want, you know, bills chasing you when you're in your new place, this is a super important step. Okay, so the 5th is really start narrowing down your commute to work. Boston, I've made tons of videos about it. I've gotten pinched in the past myself. Everybody's heard of how bad Boston traffic is. Figure out what your commute really is going to look like and what that's going to mean to you, your lifestyle, and what's going to be important for you. So keep that in mind when you're looking at different towns. You know, getting from Brookline to the Seaport is totally different than getting from Melrose to Dorchester, or getting from East Boston to Jamaica Plain. We call it JP. You know, they make the joke Boston is an hour from Boston for a reason. And let me tell you, when I first moved here, I had no idea. So like I struggled. And it was one of those things where like I told myself I would never let a friend or a family member go through what I had to with traffic, because it looked like some type of cartoon where I was like pulling out my hair. And let's be honest, I don't have enough where, you know, I can afford to lose anymore. So keep that in mind, guys, that, you know, identifying your commute to school is important. Identifying your commute to work is important. Identifying, you know, if you're going to temple or church or to other type of, you know, communities or gatherings, and you're going to be doing it consistently, knowing how long it takes to get there and the way you're going to get there, because it's going to have a huge impact on your life here in Boston. And I mean, that even begs the question, are you bringing a car? Should you bring a car? Because at the end of the day, it is a world of difference. If you're living in, say, the financial district, you probably don't need a car. But if you're living out in like Sharon or in Andover or in Marshfield, you might be, you know, a 40-minute car ride into the city, and then you have to think about parking. So these are things that you need to start researching and that you need to reach out to me about and be like, hey, Joe, I saw your video. I loved it. I'm thinking about moving here. One, can you help us? And two, is it something where like, this is actually what the commute looks like? Don't always trust Google Maps. They don't take into account things like Marathon Monday or Cape traffic and that seasonal traffic that starts to happen. So, I mean, there's so many different factors in it. So you got to reach out. You got to let me know, you know, hey, this is what our plans are. Can you help us? Because I'm here for you. I got your back. Now, that leads me to kind of the sixth thing. And I mean, it's kind of easy. You've got to reach out to us. This is, you know, what we love and what we're here for. And, you know, starting to set you up with all the information that you need, whether it be in one of these videos, whether it be in person or over Zoom or a FaceTime, or if you're planning that trip out to do that research and you need to have a person that you can count on to set up all the different types of showings and have a good schedule for you where it's going to be efficient, we're going to be effective, we're going to see all the things that we need to and not waste time. So those are the kind of big things that you really need to kind of look at when you're considering moving here to Boston. You know, you got the 6 different items, and if you follow that, I promise you, it'll be that much easier, it'll be that much less stress, and you'll be that much happier. So those are the things that, you know, we love helping you with privately, but the only way we can help you is you have to reach out. I mean, it's pretty simple. You have to give us a call, you have to shoot me a text or an email. And, you know, remember, it's days, nights, weekends. When you need the information, send me a message or, you know, even drop me a comment here. Or if there's a video that we haven't made, let me know and I'm happy to. Just know that we have your back when moving to Boston and its greater suburbs. So until the next video, guys, we'll catch you later. Have a great one.